BigQuery has a feature of scripting your queries. You can use a script feature to query. So I'll be talking about that. And the second thing is how to use information schema, which is also one of the table BigQuery provides, and using which we can try to find out some slots. We can try to find out, whether our query is performing slow or not. So just to get into the details of all the things which information schema provides and how we can utilize it. So basically, BigQuery, if you see the way we normally write scripting, BigQuery provides a way you can write your queries, more than one queries, and which you can send to BigQuery, and BigQuery will execute in sequence, whatever sequence you provide it into that script. And once the whole script is executed, you can get the result of that script, and even in the individual query. So that's precisely what BigQuery scripting talks about. Now, there are some features and which we can leverage, which we can use by using the scripting. One of this is sending multiple queries, like you can write insert, update, delete, and so on in that query. The other is you can use variables. So normally, like it is the same way in the stored procedure, but here you can write variables, you can declare variables, and then you can use those variables. You can use if, while, all other loops if you want to perform certain things. Now, you can also handle exceptions. So let's say if you're running a query, you got some exceptions, you want to skip that thing, that, okay, that exception is fine, you don't want to, it's not a big deal, then you can move forward. If it is a big deal, you want to cancel the whole script, that also you can do. And you can even do certain things on the exception. So when exception arrives, you can perform certain operations. So that's the power of this scripting. It supports transactions. So that's one of the good feature, actually. If I see, so for example, if you are writing multiple insert and you find one of the insert is giving error and you want to roll back, right? There's a situation you don't want to insert. So that thing, you can do it through transactions. And that way you can roll back the whole script. So this way, if suppose you inserted some of the data, it will not insert into a BigQuery. Then as of now, there are two stored procedure it supports from the script, like you can cancel, I think, some other job by calling it, and you can refresh a materialized view. So these are the two stored procedure it provides. So one of the use case of using script is this way you can use multiple queries, like maybe you can use insert, you can use update, you can use delete, and all that can happen in sequence if you need to do that. Second is, as I said, you can use if, while loop to write your core logic if there's a need. One of the very good feature I would say that is useful is temporary tables. So usually you have seen that in BigQuery you can create data sets, you can create a table. Those are the permanent table. But using this, you can create a temporary table where the scope of the table only reside with that script. The script is done. You can use the same name table into another script. And that is kind of similar to the volatile feature of Teradata. So if suppose you're migrating from Teradata and you want to use certain that feature, then BigQuery provides. And this way, basically, you don't have a limitations of data sets and all. Now, transaction control, as I already talked about, and I'll show you with an example, that you can roll back, you can commit, you can do any operations you want to perform. Okay, so temporary, let me show with an example first. So how we write scripting. So basic thing is you need to start with begin and end, and whatever you want to put inside, those will become the those will be the part of your script. So here there is a two queries part of this script, and when this script will run, it will execute first query, which is selecting from table A. Then it will run second query, which is selecting from table B, and then it will give you the result. And then if you want, so basically what BigQuery does internally, when you send a script, it will generate a job ID, right? And that job will be assigned for this whole script. But internally, it will generate a child jobs, right? So each of these query will have a child job associated, where the parent of those childs will be the main job which BigQuery will create for this. So when we will look into the information schema sometime later, what we will find out that yes, for this, there will be total 3 jobs. One job will be the main job, And then BigQuery will create the individual jobs for it. And that way, if you want to explore, if you want to get the data from those tables, you can get it using the individual job. Now here, this right side example is the transaction example. So what it is saying is, first start the script, then begin your transaction, because you might not need all the statement in the script to be transaction controlled, right? You want maybe some of the statement and other, it does not matter whether it fails, right? You are still okay. So let's say if I go with this, we started the transaction here, then we are creating a temp table. So this is what I was talking about, the temp table. I created a temp table with this select, and then I will insert, let's say, 2 values in that temp table. Then I'm just selecting another table B. I'm inserting in table A, and then I'm calling this select test TTT. This is a temp table because it does not have data set or project name associated. So what BigQuery will try to find out that, okay, whether this table is being created in this script. And if you see, this table is not created here. So what it will do is it will give an error, which means the whole script will be stopped. But if you see, we already inserted in these tables, like, okay, this is fine that this is the test table is a temp table, so it does not matter because if the script is done, its scope is done. But we already inserted into one of the permanent table. Now, if we don't roll back the transaction, what will happen? We will get this value unnecessarily into a table. And that is where, if you see, we are using this error when exception when error. So in that case, what will happen? After any error, it will come here and it will see, like, first I'm printing this just so that I can show you when I run it. But eventually, it will roll back that transaction. And then when you select these values, you will find that this 16 is not inserted into a table. So that's the way you can use rollback transaction. Now here, if you see, I did not commit the transaction. When you don't commit the transaction, it spans, the scope spans to the end of the last statement, which is this. What I can do is I can commit, I'll show you here. I can write a commit transaction here. In that case, what will happen? This piece of code will be committed in BigQuery. So even if this error comes, this insert will still be successful. And that is where we can utilize this feature. Okay. The last thing is the information schema, which I was talking, like how to see the power of BigQuery's information schema. Now, this is a simple query. Now, information schema, if you see, there are job by project, there are job by organization. There are many tables which you can use. But here, I will use the job by project to show certain information. Okay. So let's dive into that BigQuery console. So I have this query. I'm replacing my recent job ID with that. And then so this is a view I have created out of this information schema. And we can use the tables directly as well. In that view, actually, I kept some time like as New York time and all, so that we understand, yeah, it ran just now. So this is the main job. Okay, so this is the main job which we just ran. Now, if you see, you will get the creation time. You will get the, like, this is the view. So this is a New York. Then you have a made time in millisecond. You have a elapsed time in millisecond. And then you have a start time. And if you go further, you will get how many bytes this job is processed. Now, because we just ran it, so we can see that, yeah, it processed these many bytes. But what if your application is running these things and you don't have any control as of now? And maybe you want to analyze some data after 2 days, 3 days. That, okay, over 1 day, how many queries we ran and how many bytes it processed, what all those things. Now, this is the slot thing, like how many slot my query used, right? And this is the query, right? And then the priority of that query, interactive, because we just ran. Was there any reservation associated? No. All these information, if the query gives result errors, like for example, you get quota error, you get exceed rate error, all these things you can find out in this error. And you can find out that, yes, because of these quota, my query is failing. So if you run it now manually, maybe it's not meaningful, because you can say maybe you'll get the error, you'll come to know. But think from an application perspective, when you are running behind the scene and you don't have any control over seeing that thing, like it is done, you have a log, you got the error, and now what you want to do with that. So that's where this table will work. Now, if you see, the parent job ID of this thing is null because this itself is a parent job. Now, what I will do is I will say that, okay, show me all the jobs where the parent job ID was this. So ideally, it should show me 2 rows with those 2 queries, which were the part of those that script. Now, if you see, it says that script job. Again, if we move further, we will come here, we will find start time, end time, same thing. But here, if you see, it's not printing the SQL, script. It's just printing the individual SQL. And that way, even which SQL is giving you quota error or anything, you will come to know here. Okay, that's the thing. Now, what are the good information schema gives? Now, suppose you have been assigned 200 slot, like let's say you're working on a flat rate schema, you have been assigned 1000 slots, and now you are running maybe 1000 query. You want to see whether those 1000 slots are enough for you, right? How will you identify? Now, one of the good thing you can see here is the wait time. Because what BigQuery job does is, as soon as it comes, it goes to a waiting, but mainly that waiting time will be in an order of milliseconds, because your job is, as soon as it comes, BigQuery will start processing it. But if you're seeing here that the wait time is in minutes, which means that before starting the job, BigQuery has to wait to schedule that job onto the shard workers because the enough slots were not available. And that is the information it will give, that you have a slot crunch. Your query is not getting the slots to run. And that's where you can see that, okay, I can go and increase the slots, or I can do one more thing. If you think that 1000 slots are enough for your load, then you need to find out that, okay, which query is taking more slots. And that's where you can come here to see the slot used. The third thing to figure out is, you are running thousands of query, and suddenly you are getting a quota error. Let's say you are getting exceed rate, too many insert rate error. That basically just means is like, if you insert too many queries beyond that rate, you will get that error. Now, when you will come here, you can find that such similar queries, and you can check where error is not equal to null. So you will get a lot of errors here, and then you will figure out that, okay, yeah, this is my query, this is the table which is getting too many insert. Now let's either put it into a streaming, or let's try to slow down, or maybe add a retry mechanism. So what I'm doing here is, I am just taking the transaction. So this is a temp table I'm creating, and then I'm inserting 2 values in the temp table. Okay. And then I am selecting from table B. It does not have anything. I'm just putting for the sake of adding a statement. Then I'm inserting in test table 16 value. Because I am getting this error, this value will not get inserted into a table. And we just ran the other query, and we found that table A was not having any data. And then we will analyze that. It will select before rollback and then after rollback. So if you see after failure, there are 5 statements, 1, 2, 3. So this statement will be a rollback statement, and then last 2. So now we have got the error here, which means this will be the test TTT, where it's saying missing. So which means before that, we already inserted into the table. But because rollback is there, ideally it should be rollback. So before rollback, I'm checking the test table. It says 10 and 15, right? Here, this is statement. Then I'm checking the test table A. It should also show the insert 16 because it is not yet rollback. So it has inserted. Now the third statement from the last will be a rollback. Sorry, not this one. Yeah. The third statement will be a rollback. It says that, yes, this is statement executed, line number 12. And you can see it from here, like line number 12. And then I will see the last value because test table is still fine. I know. So if you see, it is showing no result, which means that table got values inserted, but it did not show any result, means it got rollback. Now I'll quickly show one more thing where I will keep the commit transaction just after inserting the values and before the failure. And this way we will see that values are inserted. See here, I am inserting the value in that table, but the commit transaction is happening, and then I'm expecting an error. So logically what should happen, that transaction is committed, no rollback should happen for that value. Okay, so now if you see, it failed, and it is selecting those values, right? It is selecting from here, that test value, and then it is selecting the last value here, okay? This thing. But while going for rollback, it gave an error saying no active transaction is there because we already committed the transaction. And this value is 16. So now if we go and we select from this table we should see that 16 value inside, right? So that means it's not rollback. So this way we can utilize our queries, we can design our queries, we can use it, and we can get the desired result based on what we need.